it was obvious there was some mouse droppings through here that they had been just sort of hanging out in this cabinetry.
Well, just the whole floor process, as you've seen, has been very stressful. But like choosing stain colors is like straight up alchemy on Pinterest. And there's so many combinations, like third of this, third of this, third of this, that it's very stressful.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back to Knorpp and South. Really welcome us back because we have been gone forever. We have not posted a video. My family's even reaching out and asking if we're going to post a video because they want updates. The reason we haven't is because the last 2 weeks of our renovation have been the most challenging yet. So challenging that we just haven't had any extra time even to even think about posting a video. But thankfully today there was a little break in the jobs that I was doing. So I wanted to walk you through the last couple weeks and talk about what we've been doing and where we're at and bring you up to speed. Last time we were here with the renovation, we had just finished painting the bedrooms. And I got a really angry comment on Twitter about how we painted the kids' bedrooms when there was so many, but we hadn't done the bathroom yet. And there was actually, I guess I didn't explain that very well in the last video. We knew we were going to need to move into the RV, but we thought the kids' bedrooms are so close to being done that if they could, they would definitely prefer sleeping in their bedrooms over sleeping in the RV. And so we could use the RV as a bathroom, but get them sleeping in their bedrooms as quickly as we can. And so we focused on that. The reason we painted, even though you can paint after you move in, is it's so much easier to paint before you do the floors and all of those things, so you don't have to cover them up or worry about any of those things. And painting takes literally 1 day. And so that's why we focus on actually painting bedrooms. So after painting their bedrooms, we started working on the floors, which ended up being so much harder than we thought it would be. Okay, we're at the house. And you can see that the floors have never been refinished. I'm gonna take them down to their raw state and then come back in, maybe depending on how long it takes, and stain them and then seal them so that we can just move the kids' stuff right into their bedrooms, even though the kitchen and bathroom aren't done. Okay, I did my first 3 passes. I just wanted to test this out. And you can see the unevenness of the floor wherever it's darker or shinier. I don't know if you can see that shine. And the reason we got this one, it is not as heavy duty, but he said it could go to the edges, but it really can't. It can't go into the corners. It can't go to the edges. So I think I'm actually going to have, and it's going to take forever. And so I'm going to actually return it. Get our money back for all the standing pads. Anything we didn't use, we could return. And just eat the money. It was like $45 for 4 hours. I mean, the floors are very pretty. Some of you are probably like, oh, leave it light. I'm not going to be leaving it light. I'm going to go darker because I have a lot of antique furniture and I want it to work with that. But it would be pretty light. So yeah, I'm going to go have lunch. We're going to return this thing and get the heavy duty one and really get this thing going. Okay, Mike's putting the sandpaper on the new belt sander that we got, or the new floor sander.
Well, yeah, the other one wasn't a
belt sander.
This is the drum sander.
Oh, a drum. And Mike's watching a video on how to put that on.
Because at the Lowe's, they weren't super clear on it. So what do you think?
Whoa, feel that. That is yeah.
Oh, that is going down to the grain.
Yeah, that's pretty deep. I mean, that other stuff is not doing that.
You can feel the difference.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can. Maybe I need to go a little faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was not quite the most aggressive sandpaper they had. I hope it's not too much.
Crazy.
Is that here? No, not on the back. It's just it's the middle. It kind of teeters on it.
Okay.
There you go. Starting in the closet.
Yeah. I really regret that we didn't stay with the original sander because we still don't really know how to do it without causing lots of problems that then you're going to spend tons of time trying to fix. This drum sander did get through the finish very, very quickly, but then it created a lot of problems with scratches and divots. And we researched a ton and tried to follow all the videos, but still had these problems, even working really hard not to. I definitely regret getting the drum sander and wish we would have just kept the weak sauce sander and done, spent a longer time on that, because we wouldn't have had to then go back and do so many other things that we had to do to fix the problems that the drum sander caused. So lesson learned there, but don't learn any lessons about finishing wood floors from us because we still don't know how to do it.
Next stage in this process, Megan has been belt sanding. It's not easy.
No, it's like doing this. And I do a lot of these sorts of activities at the gym. Just kidding, I never go to the gym.
So we'll see how this goes, but she's gonna do this and I'm gonna go in and do the stand-up one. What have we found out here, Megan?
Turns out little belt sanders are not made for this heavy duty of work.
Okay.
They're for sanding tabletops and stuff.
This is too much for it.
It must be, because it's eaten up 2 of these real quickly.
And you haven't even done half the room yet. I mean, you've done
Yeah, done about half.
you've done this wall and that wall, so.
Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna just go home and work on things there. I'll let you sand the rest, right?
Yeah. Got all the heavy sanding done that I can do. You can see all the lines. You see those lines? It just comes with that heavy stuff that's got to eat through that top layer. But now if I head this direction with the 80 grit, it should, in theory, smooth that out. And then the last step will be 100 or 120, I'm not sure. And we'll probably get a different sander for that. The one that more is a, what's the word? I can't remember. My brain's not working. But the sander that doesn't really spin, it just vibrates. I just want to get this done as much as I can so I can get that sander back and stop. I've already kept it longer than I'm supposed to, so.
So once we started on the floors, though, we had to take a break because we needed to move. And the reason we needed to move is because we just couldn't keep paying both the rental and our mortgage and for the renovation. And we had already planned on being out 2 months ago, but kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And we felt like we were close enough that we could just make the leap and force ourselves out, and also so that we didn't have to keep paying once again. And so it was time to look in the RV and see if we could set that up and get everybody moved in, which is insane. I've never, moving is hard enough, but when you're moving during a renovation into an RV, and then, so you're just kind of packing for a trip, but not for a trip, and then putting everything else in boxes and putting them in storage, that was not fun. I guess and it's still, I don't know if I was like wishful thinking, but I did not pack enough. I think most of us did not pack enough. And it's just like kind of crazy in the RV.
Part of the process of this project is that, well, not really a project so much as our life, is we're trying to move out of the rental to be done with the double payment and all that kind of stuff, but the house isn't ready yet. But we have this right here, the old trailer. And so we thought, well, why don't we just park it next to the house, and as soon as we have electricity here at the house, we can plug in and live in the trailer while we finish the house. So that's what we're gonna try to do. So I've got to get the top off of it, or not top, the cover that we've had over it for the past 6 or 7 months, and get it situated, get it leveled, and all that good stuff. And also I think we got to do a little bit of work. I've got to fix some caulking on the side where we had a little bit of a water leak. And I need to see how it looks inside. We haven't opened this thing up for a number of months, and it's always a little scary to open up your trailer because you just don't know what you might find. Taking this apart to try to figure out where our leak is coming from, one thing I did discover is this. I think this was in our drawer. I think we have a critter, probably a mouse, living in the trailer. It's taking up residence in the off season here. So we are gonna have to do something about that. So we got a leak, and we've also got visitors coming in, but there's nothing, no sign of water on this side. So it's like it's coming in up there somewhere. But I don't know how that would be happening. There's no watermarks. So that's a mystery. It's the next day. I did some snooping around on the outside of the trailer. Went underneath the trailer to see where our mice friends might be coming in. I found so the bottom of the trailer is sealed. There's sheathing that goes all the way along it, but there's a few points where the plumbing, where you dump your black and gray tanks, come through. And there was one opening there, which is, they typically foam, but they had foamed it, but had left a big gap. So I'm guessing that's where they were coming, because they could crawl up. The mice are amazing at crawling and climbing, amazingly enough. But they could crawl up I can see where they could have crawled up the wheels on the outside, and then jumped or crawled over and gone across the top of the plumbing and up into the bottom or underneath. So what I did is I have some foam here, and I went ahead and foamed up those openings so they're sealed up, and I kind of looked at everything else. There's a couple other spots where smaller, like the water drain for the water heater and the fresh tanks come through, and that's all good. So I'm guessing they were coming through that one bigger opening. So I think I've sealed it up, and we'll go ahead, and I've already cleaned it up. So I vacuumed up all the stuff they dragged in and all their poop on, obviously. I also cleaned that up. But I'm going to take this home, as well as these other drawers, because they had also gotten into here, which is gross. I didn't show it, but it was obvious there was some mouse droppings through here that they had been just sort of hanging out in this cabinetry, while it was just sitting here over the winter time. So gonna take those out, take them home, bleach them, or get some good disinfectant, and then we're also gonna take all the utensils that were in there and get those through the dishwasher and sanitize those. So yeah.
But the thing is, it's so hard when you are vlogging. The times which would probably be the most interesting at home, where there's the most drama, or I guess drama's the wrong word, but the most stress, and also which leads to hilarity and kind of like crazy situations is not typically when you want to turn the camera on and be like, hey, look how like sad we all feel to be moving into an RV tonight. Thankfully, Mike and I, we've gotten some really good laughter, because you can either laugh or you can cry. And, you know, laughing feels a little bit better, but we have laughed so much at just like the insanity of our life right now. And absolutely, there were times where I'm like, why didn't we just stay in the rental? But really just because it was too expensive to do both. And we needed to put, I mean, on the other hand, it's also been really nice to be right here so that like all day we're working. I mean, the drive back and forth from the rental to the renovation and back and forth was maddening. And like in that, like you get less done because you're not right there, and you need to go home for dinner, and you don't really want to go back over there after dinner necessarily, and we did sometimes, but it's much easier when you're right here. And so Mike I can make him a sandwich, he could eat the sandwich and go right back to work, sort of thing. And also we're there, the kids are here with us, so we're not like leaving them and coming over to the renovation. And so all hands on deck sort of situation, and it has been better in that way. It's just the RV is its own problems with, it had some leaks in it and stuff, and so it's not ideal there. And it's also not fun to live in your driveway, you know, to come out in the morning, you know, in your driveway. That's not necessarily fun either. You feel a little bit like, you know, it doesn't feel super classy, but I mean, we're grateful for the RV and that we have it. And so the move was really hard, but thankfully we had some friends and we had some family, and we didn't record much of that, because it was like, who's going to record? We need everybody doing stuff. It's not like somebody can just spend the time doing that. And so we have a little bit of that, but mostly we got it all into the warehouse, which now looks legit like the room of requirement from Harry Potter, with like, we'll have to show you sometime, with like tunnels through our stuff, you know, and the stuff piled up high, all these random things. But it's a blessing that it all fit in there, because there's so much. And so after the move, we got back on the floors. Using the big drum sander left tons of scratches in the floor, and then coming back with a finishing sander, you know, we believed that we would be able to just take those down, but it was not really adequate. So I actually went back with my small hand sander and tried to sand down all of the scratches and the dents. And it did work pretty well. I mean, you really see them once you stain the floor, and there was definitely scratches that I missed. But it was kind of a nightmare scenario with how bad it looked. I was very demoralized. I didn't record it all. But we got the floors to an okay place. I mean, they're old floors, so they're never going to be incredible, or maybe they would if I had, you know, had $1 million and paid somebody. But we got into a place where we were okay with them, and thank goodness for rugs, because any of the scratches will just be covered up. But thankfully I even had this so I could get the really big scratches out. So today is the day where I stain my floors. It's also the day where I choose the color I'm going to stain the floors, because I still don't know. I've been thinking about it forever, but I bought a few different colors, and I'm going to put them on the floor right now. If I can find a dang opener. I don't know why I can't find anything. And I'm going to look at them and see which one looks best. It seems like most people on Pinterest and online are really going for a very cool brown, which I do love me some cool browns. Cool, dude. But I have a lot of antique furniture and has a lot of warm red tones and things, so I want to keep my floors warm. And so I'm gonna look at, I think I have 4 different colors I'm gonna try out. Okay, so yesterday night, or last night, I did special walnut right here. I don't know how people online are like showing you these huge squares. Are they just like re-sanding their floors? Like, I'm not willing to do that, but I have a little bit of space right here. I know it'd be better to have huge squares because obviously there's a difference in the wood, but I did special walnut. I'm going to now do I have some driftwood. Kind of just got that for mixing. Some dark walnut. and some Jacobian. Okay, let's do the Jacobian. I think it's the darkest. And it has, I think it has a greenish tint, so it's gonna take some of the red down. Let's see though. Whoa, very dark. Very dark. Now, yeah, you can see that. That's pretty though. Prettier than I like that. It's not too greenish. I know that the trend is lighter floors, but like I said, with all the antiques that I have, I just lean towards. And I like antiques. I don't think that's gonna change. I don't even know what color this is. I'm assuming it's the dark walnut though, which is gonna be a little warmer than the Jacobian. I need another rag. That's pretty too. It is definitely more golden. Very close though. And then I have driftwood. I don't really know why I got this. Everybody mixes their colors with classic gray or weathered oak, and they didn't have either one of those. And I would have had to drive further, and I didn't want to. Oh, whoa. That's silly. No, not gonna happen. Very yellow, yucky. That looks like very 90s. That's not what I'm interested in. No, not at all. Let me do a little bit more of the special walnut. Pretty. It's definitely very pretty. Very light. Can't really see the Jacobian. I'm gonna do one more Jacobian. See a little bit more of this one. It's very similar to dark walnut. Okay.
Hi.
These are the colors. So this is special walnut right here. So it's definitely lighter.
Wait. This is one right here?
Yeah, it's the same one as this one. The floors weren't sanded as well there though.
It looks better there.
This is a nothing color I'm not using, so.
I don't know which one you're pointing at. This is, you don't like this one?
No, this one.
Oh. Well,
There's like that's a really light one there.
I don't know what you're pointing at.
Okay.
I can't follow.
This is special walnut.
Which you...
It's very light. I don't think I'm gonna do this
I don't
one.
like that.
This is a nothing color I tried. I don't even, it doesn't even enter the
Oh,
ring.
so these are two different colors?
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
It's like about 2 boards wide here.
Okay.
And then this one is dark walnut, and this one's Jacobian, but those were hard to see there.
You can't hardly see the difference.
Yeah, so this is dark walnut, and this is Jacobian.
Oh.
The only difference
So
is...
you're saying these two right here
I redid.
are also over here.
Yeah, I redid
Man,
because
you're
you could...
confusing
Oh
me
my God,
here.
you could barely see them there. Dark walnut is redder
Yep.
than Jacobian. So I've decided to do Jacobian.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, you feel good?
Yeah, I would choose that as well.
Oh, good.
No, actually, I did like that.
Okay, well that's what I'm going to choose. So I'm going to go to the bathroom. Just wanted to let everybody know.
Good thing.
I'm going to get the vacuum. I'll vacuum them.
Yep.
And then I will go buy the sand, the stain, and I'm going to just do it. Okay, the floors are vacuumed, ready to go. There's definitely imperfections in them. Like right there, there's like we'll see what that looks like when it's stained. It might be super prominent. There's like a dent there. And if it is, well, there's a rug going over it. So this is, yeah. There's also really pretty things about the floor though that came out, like this beautiful graining here. Do you see that? It's so pretty. I love wood, and honestly, if I went with my heart, I'd do nothing. I would leave the floors raw. But sometimes your heart is not to be listened to, and instead you should listen to your head, because it would probably just like ruin these floors. But man, choosing stain, well, just the whole floor process, as you've seen, has been very stressful. But like choosing stain colors is like straight up alchemy on Pinterest. And there's so many combinations, like third of this, third of this, third of this, that it's very stressful. And it also doesn't really apply, like, because you have different wood than other people. Even if you have the same type of wood, your wood might look different. Mine's 60 years old. And then you have different lighting in your rooms than those ladies have. You have different wall colors, different furniture. And so it's like, ultimately, you just have to decide. Now, there has been a development since we last spoke 1 minute ago, when I said I wasn't gonna mix. I am gonna mix. In the interim, thinking about it, I decided that maybe Jacobian was darker, too dark. So I'm gonna mix it with special walnut, 50-50. And I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna do it. We're just gonna move forward. So I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna stay in them by myself and imagine that I'll figure it out. Guess I just gotta get started. Okay, oh my gosh, maybe I should have put this a little closer to where I'm going. Oh, that's pretty. Pretty. You can see scratches and some dents. But, 60-year-old floors. Okay. This floor is definitely, this was the first one I sanded. That's what rugs are for. For old floors, for new floors. It's really hard at this point because everything needs to be done. In fact, we are working on a deadline because in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, is Andrew's senior trip. And when we booked this trip last year, we thought, well, this will be months after our move, so we should be totally fine. Everything should be, great. But it's obviously now down to days. I think we're at 10 days until we need to leave. And thankfully my parents will be helping out with the kids, but we want the kids to be fully in the house. We want them to have a fully working bathroom, a working kitchen. And so that's where our priority is right now. And it's definitely adding to our stress because, every day matters. And when you have 10 days, you're like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh, so that's where we're at. I should probably maybe take you inside and show you kind of exactly where everything stands. I finished the wood floors. I guess let's go take a tour and see where we're at and finish this thing up. I'm so sorry that I wish that we had less of a deadline so that we could take this a little bit slower. I also wish that we were richer, you know, that would be nice. Because then we could just be paying somebody else to do it, or we could be staying in our rental longer. I mean, it's crazy to be split between 2 houses anyway, so even if we had more, you know, liquidity, it's still annoying. So that's where we're at. I think we're feeling a little bit better today in the last couple days than we were a few days ago, right after the move. I mean, moving's crazy, and living out of suitcases is crazy, and you know, like trying to find things, that's a little bit crazy. And then you're also, all the while that's happening, you're trying to renovate and hurry up and finish a house so that you can get into it, at least partially. Obviously, we're super happy with the house, and I'm happy in a way that I'll have months, if not years, of projects till I really like get this thing where I want it. But that's fun in a way, you know? It's nice to own something and to be able to work on it and really make it your own. It's just harder when, you know, it's your house and you need to live in it and you are up against a deadline. But anyways, without further ado, let's get inside. First, I'll start with an update in here. I mean, it's hard to keep an RV clean, but right now it's especially bad because when we're in an RV park, we can usually like move and have tables outside and there's like a setup, but everything's inside here, and so it's kind of insane. Hey, you guys are playing cards? So we're making it work, but we don't want to make it work very much longer. We want to move inside, so let's go in. And the wood looks good, so we need to just start bringing things over. The main thing is that there's no, I think like the lighting's not in and stuff, so I don't know if the outlets are working. I know that one is working, but an electrician's coming, is going to kind of figure out what's going on there. So they may not move in until that's figured out. Need to just poll the kids and see what they think. So Pete's been very anxious to move inside. And then right here, we'll rip up the rest of this wood floor after the AC is in, because once the AC is in, we can get our floors delivered. We already bought the wood, but it needs to sit in your house and acclimate for a few days with the AC going. And since that's not done yet, can't bring those over here, can't install them. So the wood will continue through this room and into our bedroom back there. We have the washer dryer, and that's being used. Everybody's happy to be washing their clothes again. We'll need to build some sort of storage up and around it. I think did we show that we also got the window installed in our shower? It needs to be trimmed out and things, but so that's where we're at. We do have electricity working in some of the rooms, like in here. Electrical, it turns out, is more complicated than you realize. There's all sorts of things about where the wires run and where they connect to. So that's where it stands, and hopefully on our next video, we'll have tile in the kitchen. Maybe I'll be putting up backsplash stuff before we go, and we'll have fridges and the ranges and a sink and all of that stuff in on our next video. Okay, I'm back in my RV bedroom, and I've got 2 kitties. They like to sleep in here. But that's my spot, Albus. That's where I've got to sit and edit this video for the channel. You don't look amused. But that's it. I'm now going to sit down and edit this video. And I'm glad that we made it through the move. I'm glad that we've kind of settled in with the RV and that we're making some headway in the house. So we feel like that deadline maybe isn't an impossible one to make or to meet. But thanks for your support, guys. Thanks for all of your, advice that you've given us, all of your love. Yeah, till next time. Hopefully it's not as long this time as it was last time, but we'll see you then. Bye.